To make a sushi maki, which simply means roll, you need a sheet of nori. Typically, it's not a full sheet. It would be cut about 2/3 full. You need rice and you need garnish. Today we're going to make a California roll, so we need the nori, we need the seasoned rice. Our garnishes will be surimi, tobiko, avocado, and cucumber julienne. There's two sides to the piece of nori. One side is a bit shinier than the other side. That side should be down so that it faces out towards the customer when we finish. The first step is to put your hands in some hand water, moisten them gently, and then quickly slap them to get off the excess moisture so that you don't drip water onto the nori. You want them to be lightly moist, not soaking wet. Take a handful of your seasoned rice. Lay it out. And then keeping your fingers moist, pull it down, but gently, don't smear it. The temptation is to apply too much pressure to the rice and to smear it, rub it onto the seaweed. That gives you a more of a glue texture than individual grains of rice, which is really what we're striving for. Also, don't overfill it, but make sure that you have rice that goes from edge to edge. The only edge that you'll want to leave a little bit free of rice would be the top edge, so that you don't end up with rice squeezing out of the side after the roll is complete. So gently, with moist fingers, you press the rice into place into a thin, even layer. Take a small amount of wasabi paste and run it along the inside about 1/3 the way from the bottom of the roll. Not too much wasabi. Next, we'll take our surimi, which has been cut to fit. A whole roll of surimi is usually a little bit too wide for the size of the sheets of the nori that we have, and 2 or 3 pieces should fill it. You can pinch off the end if you got a little bit of extra. Now, the temptation again is to supersize everything and to put in a lot. More is not necessarily better. If you overcrowd the inside of this roll with too much of any one thing or too much of it all, it's not going to roll cleanly and it's likely to burst. It won't hold its shape. So we've got surimi, we've got cucumber julienne. We're going to put a single layer of thin sliced avocado. The tobiko can go either inside or, very typically, you make an inside-out roll, which I can demonstrate either a little later or tomorrow, depending on how much time we've got. It's salty and sweet. It's a common component in a California roll and sometimes used as garnish on other rolls. So now that we've got our filling in there, we're going to grasp the edge of the bamboo mat. We're going to flip this over. The more you have inside, the more challenging this becomes. Flip that over. You can take a look at it to check to see that it's properly situated. Once it is, you then, using 2 hands, one hand pulling forward from the center at the top of the mat, the other hand splayed out like you were playing the piano, applying gentle back pressure as you roll forward. When you've got a complete rotation, you then stop, apply gentle, even pressure along the entire length of the roll, and you have a complete maki. Now, keeping your board clean all the time. Take a sushi knife if you have one, or a long thin slicing knife. Just one drop of water running the length of the blade to keep it from sticking to the rice too much. And you should be able to slice through this. Don't put a lot of downward pressure on the knife. Let the knife do the work for you. You'll smash the roll if you apply too much downward pressure. You should have a clean terry cloth on the side of your board that's slightly moist to wipe off the starch from the blade after each slice. You can see there's a lot of starch that builds up on that knife, and if you don't clean it off between each slice, you're going to end up with it dragging and tearing the roll apart. Notice that I cut it in half, then I cut the halves in half, then I cut the quarters in half, and I end up with 8 reasonably uniform pieces. This one down here was a little overcrowded at the end, so it fell apart. The rest of them maintain their shape fairly well. Okay. So that's what you're looking for. If you notice the rice, if you could zoom in on the rice for just a second. This is fairly well cooked, maybe just a little bit over, but you should see individual distinct grains of rice. It should not look like a paste. It shouldn't look like dough or glue. So this came out pretty well for the first time. Okay, so thank you very much.